Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now.
Well, hey everybody, I am Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm a non-medical type of doctor. I operate on business, and today we are going to be operating on yours, focused primarily on mindset, routine, and kind of what we need to get done to be productive and proactive in life instead of reactive. So let's get going. We always start with mindset. And I've been asking you this question pretty consistently, which is, what is your after? At the end of all of this, at the end of what's going on right now, what is really going to be your after? What does that look like for you? So when you decide to make the choice of what your after really is going to look like, now we can put the right plan in place to make sure that we're starting correctly right now. So idealization, visualization, verbalization, and materialization, IVVM. So idealization, what are you choosing your after to be? What are you choosing that you want to have? And are you focused solely on where you are heading? Or are you focused on all the problems of today? Idealization, I idealize, what do I actually want? What does my after look like? Then we get to part two, which is the visualization piece, your vision board, visualizing it, whether that is on your computer, cutting out a bunch of stuff from a magazine, printing out pictures and putting a collage up on the wall, something that will visually remind you on a daily basis where you are choosing to go. Then we get to verbalization. This is things like your I am statements, saying to yourself twice a day, I am whatever that is, 21 of them, not just one or two. It's really easy just to come up with a couple. And most of the time, we're going to focus on things that you need to shift in your mindset, things that you need to improve upon. So we're always current or future tense. We're always positive. We're always removing those don'ts, nots, and nos, because then we're bringing attention when we do that to what we don't want, right? So I don't want to gain weight. Well, I just brought attention to gaining weight. Instead, it's I'm in the process of being healthy, or whatever that may be. And this is why we say them twice a day out loud. It's amazing. Such a simple resource, such a simple tool, such a simple discipline. I have seen physical changes in people just from this one thing. So you must be willing to stick to a routine where you're saying these out loud to yourself every single day, twice a day. It's interesting. A lot of people who have negative mindsets, I'll ask, hey, how are your I am statements going? Oh, I haven't done them in 2 weeks. Isn't that interesting? And you must do it for the next 2 months straight, because once you've done it for the next 2 months straight, it starts to become a routine. That third month, now it's ingrained into just who you are and into your daily routine. And you're not just reading them, you're saying them out loud. So we've idealized where we're going. We've visualized it, and now we're saying it to ourselves, which then brings us to materialization. This is where we must reward ourselves and celebrate the wins. We must celebrate when we achieve certain goals. In fact, you should be celebrating a win every single day right now, potentially every single hour right now, to make sure that your focus is where it needs to be. So what's your win so far today? You've had at least one, guaranteed. You just have to think a little bit. And then as we materialize our goals and we celebrate those wins, we need to go back and we need to look at our vision board and say, well, look, these things have already come to fruition. They've already happened. I need to update my vision board now. And ideally, going back to idealization, when you work through how we are teaching, how I'm teaching, how we coach, every single year you should need to update your vision board, because some of it will have been accomplished. So every single year, maybe at the end of the year, maybe at the beginning of the year, maybe it's in the middle of the year for you. Question is, when are you going to update it? And if you don't have one, create one. You look at some of the most successful people in the world, and they have massive vision boards. The Rock, right? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is notorious for having two massive chalkboards up. And one of them is his vision board, the projects he wants to go get, the people he wants to go work with. And then he has one that's all the major failures to remind himself of what not to do in moving forward. It's very interesting. So simple, free resource. You don't have to do anything when it comes to other than a little bit of your time to do this stuff. And it's super powerful. You must maintain it though. You must maintain consistency with it. I am statements are one of the most underused resources that we have when it comes to shifting our mindset. So that's up to you. You must make the choice today. Are you going to do it or not? Mindset. What's your after? That gets us now into routine. So part 5 of routine is going to be today, and we're going to have a couple of resources for you, completely complimentary, to start leveraging, to put things in place like I am statements and your daily action list and things like that. So you must have a militant attitude. Resent having your time wasted. Resent it. If someone's trying to waste your time, they need to learn, you need to teach them how to appropriately leverage time so that way they're not wasting it anymore. Don't waste your time. Self-determination is so important. It's why we start with IVVM, idealization, visualization, verbalization, materialization, because when you are doing those things every single day, when you're looking at your vision board, I am statements, when you're doing all of these things consistently, when you end your day preparing for the next one, it helps remove these roadblocks that we get as excuses all the time from our clients, that you give yourself, that I have given myself. And so self-determination turns into self-discipline. How tough are you on those who would undervalue your time? How much is your time worth? When you look at what you're trying to build right now, what you are in the process of building, for every moment that your time is wasted, that people are surrounding you, distracting you, things like that, when you're allowing the phone to go off instead of being militant with your focus, you're undervaluing your time, because what you're building is far greater than what you have right now. And so we must be militant with our attitude. We must be militant with our time. We must have a lot of self-determination. So how tough are you on yourself? Or do you go easy on yourself? If I was sitting next to you all day long, how many times would I be pointing out things that are distracting you, that are causing you to be less productive than you could be, that are moments where you're having your time undervalued or wasted? If I was sitting next to you all day long, how many times would I be pointing that out, going, all right, that was another one. Oh, we're up to 15 today. It's only 10 o'clock. How tough are you on yourself? I'm going to give you 10 of the top productivity, if you will, resources today that you can start to implement into your life. So fire yourself today, and then we're going to replace yourself. Now, for a lot of you, you're going to be replacing yourself with yourself. And for some of you, you may be in a spot where you could fire yourself and replace yourself with somebody else. That's where we want you to be. That's why we build business to run without you. So that way it's not dependent on you. And chances are, if you're the owner, you could go hire a CEO that would be much better at the CEO spot than you, very candidly. And that's the purpose, because you are the visionary. You are the leader of the business. You don't need to necessarily be the CEO. You just fill that seat right now. You wear that hat. And for a lot of you, you're wearing the CEO hat, the COO hat, the marketing hat, the business development hat, the sales hat, the customer service hat. In fact, you should go create when we talk about visualizing what this whole thing looks like you're after, what does your organizational chart look like for when the business runs without you? And then go ahead and put your name in all those spots so you can start to see what spots you need to hire first and delegate off your plate. So honest self-analysis, self-understanding, what are your specialties? What's the secret sauce that you bring to your business that makes you and your business extraordinary? Those are the things that you ultimately only want to focus on. And eventually, even potentially systematize so you can bring other people to do that for you. So as you build your business, and for some, you're able to do that right now. And for some, you're building towards that. Delegate. There is an art of delegation. And so when you understand the art of delegation, you can properly do it, because there's a very big difference between delegation and abdication. Don't abdicate things. That's where processes fail, because we just abdicate them out. And if you want to understand the art of delegation, how to properly delegate, then reach out to our team. We're here to help give you those resources and coach you through it. You see, that's why coaching is so vitally important, because everyone has different blind spots and everyone just has different opportunities. For as long as you own a business, you should have a coach. Let's be honest with it. Because as long as you own a business, you will have blind spots that you can't see, because it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So understand how to properly delegate. Then we get to replacing yourself. Now you're getting closer to where you can properly replace yourself completely. Welcome your dispensability. That's why I share all the time. The top 2 traits I see in every one of the most successful people in the world I've ever met. They check ego at the door, and they are the constant student. They are willing to understand that they are dispensable. I am dispensable in my business, and I welcome it. I want to go find people who are far better at everything in my business than I am. My job is just to be the visionary. My job is to help set the course of where we're going and to make sure that I'm holding certain people accountable. I don't need to sit at the top seat as the CEO of my business. We can put other people there, and I need to welcome it. And then know what you will do with your time. When you get to that point, what will you be doing with your time? It may be building other businesses. It may be vacationing. It may be sailing. It may be backpacking across Europe. It may be building wealth. It may be sitting at home watching TV with your kids or grandkids at that point. Know what you're going to do, because your mind still needs stimulation. And so we want to make sure that you're still doing stuff. It just may not be in the business type stuff. So let's get to those top 10 self-management techniques that we've been talking about this week. Number 1, tame the phone, email, and social media. Have specific times during the day that you are paying attention to it, and then remove it the rest of the day. Number 2, minimize meetings. We talked about this yesterday. Don't be the person who's in meetings all 8 hours of the day. It's hard to be productive when you do that. So we're going to tame the phone and the email and things like that on the computer. And we're going to help us not be Mr. or Mrs. Meeting all day long. We're going to tame them a little bit. And maybe it's a matter of going, well, if it's normally an hour-long meeting, maybe it needs to be a 45-minute meeting. If it's normally a half-hour meeting, maybe it should be 20-minute meetings. That way it allows you a little gap between things to still be productive, to reset your mind, to go take a quick walk, or grab some water, whatever that may be. Then we get to number 3. Practice absolute punctuality. And this is something that happens a lot, which is why we talk about having shorter meetings as well. When you have a 20-minute meeting, if it goes 1 or 2 minutes over, you still have 7, 8, 9 minutes to get ready for the next one. If your meetings butt up to each other and a meeting goes 1, 2 minutes over, well, then the next one you're late to. So put things in place, and when it comes to self-management and the techniques that we implement, to make sure that you have extreme punctuality with your day. Number 4, make and use lists, schedules, to-do lists, people to call lists, conference planners. This is actually one of the resources we're giving you. This is the primary resource we're going to give you today. Is a sheet that helps you outline your day's schedule. It then helps you have your I am statements. It has who do I need to call? What's the biggest thing I'm going to procrastinate on today? It's got all those things built into it. What was my win of the day? What am I grateful for today? So if you create a list of things to do, you must then outline how much time needs to be dedicated to each one and where they go on your calendar. Number 5, fight to link everything to your long-term goals. Everything that you do must link towards that destination, that idealization, that visualization of where we're heading. You're after. When I ask what's your after, everything you should be doing should be linked to those, and they should be SMART goals. Block your time out on your calendar based on how much time everything needs. Put that on the calendar, set appointments with yourself to then go and do them. Number 7, set yourself clear KPIs, key performance indicators, the activities I must be doing daily and the intended results of those activities. Set clear ones for you and for everyone on your team. And then again, be militant with holding yourself accountable. Be tough on yourself. Or have an accountability partner who can do that. Or have a coach that will help you do that. Or have a system around it. That's why we coach. And if you don't have a coach, then you need to reach out to us. We'll give you a complimentary session, because everyone needs it. Every business needs a coach. I have 3 coaches myself. Everyone needs one. Minimize unplanned activities. Plan up to 45-minute blocks from beginning to end of the day. So this is why we talk about having 15 or 20-minute segments. So that way you're planning up to 45 minutes of every hour with a single activity. And then that allows you to have up to 15 minutes focus on other things every single hour. That's one of the major steps in self-management, in self-discipline, in self-mastery. There is no such thing as time management in your routine. You can't manage time itself. What we can manage is you and how you apply yourself to the 24 hours we're given every single day. We all have the same amount of time. Some of us just prioritize things better and have more self-discipline. So up to 45 minutes of every hour, focus on specific tasks. That leaves the last bit of the hour to focus on other things. Number 9, profit from wait time. This one's a big one. If you're driving around, make sure that you're listening to something that's going to help you increase your mindset or your skill set. Don't waste time listening to music. Listen to a podcast. Listen to audiobooks while you're in traffic. Wait time in an office, plug your headphones in and be listening to something. Or watching a podcast while you're in a wait line at the grocery store. You're walking around a grocery store. You could be listening to something that's going to benefit you in your business. Stop wasting time. Everything you're doing can be leveraged to make you better until you start to hit your goals consistently. And even then, now it's become a routine. Now it's just who you are. So start today. And number 10, live off peak. I go to the grocery store right now, and I very rarely wait in line because I choose the times to go to the grocery store where I know most people won't be there. Choose to do that. So much of our time is wasted because we choose to do things when everybody else is doing them. So learn how to live off peak hours, regardless of where you're going or what you're doing. Identify, okay, I have these specific things I need to go do today. Maybe you need to go mail something or whatever it is, go print something, go to the bank, go to the grocery store, whatever it is. Choose to do it during hours of the day where other people won't naturally be doing it. Don't waste time in traffic and things like that. So those are 10 self-management techniques. What I'll leave you with are my personal top, which are taking all of those 10 and then putting them into the following handful, which is set personal motivating SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, results focused with a time frame. I take everything that I'm doing when it comes to goals and things like that, and I make sure that they're smart for myself, that are going to motivate me towards my destination. Don't finish today without planning out tomorrow. Again, that's the resource we're going to be giving you, is going to help you do that. At the end of your day, always have an appointment set before you end your business day to make sure tomorrow is planned and you have time on the calendar to focus on all of those things that you must get accomplished. Create a default calendar, your default schedule that you follow week over week. No more shifting your schedule every single week. You need to get into the routine of having a consistent time to do specific types of tasks every single week, week over week, day over day. And if you don't know how to do that, we'll coach you through it, because we hear a lot of excuses on that one as well. By the way, if you have questions on any of these techniques, please type them into the chat and we'll get to them at the end. Don't major on the minor things. So if it's a minor thing, let it be minor. Don't let it take a bunch of hours. Don't let it take 5 hours of your week to focus on if it's a minor. Allow it to take 30 minutes and then be done with it. And you may make the wrong choice the first time. That's okay. You'll learn from it. You're making progress instead of wasting hour over hour self-analyzing, going, man, I need more information to make the right decision. No. Get enough information, make the decision, move forward. Have agendas for all meetings. Never walk into a meeting without a planned agenda. Always understand what the key major points are that must be addressed, and any specific action items that are going to leave out of it. And then make sure those action items are agreed upon and then disseminated. Make sure they are all sent out. Invest time, don't spend it. This one's a major one. If time was a currency, and at the beginning of our lives, we were given that bucket of currency. And for every hour we live, we are handing that dollar back, dollar after dollar, until our bucket of time currency is over and out. We're never able to put more time currency in. We're always just paying it out. So knowing that, how much better would you invest it into spend it? Invest your time. It's a massive, massive, massive one. Learn to delegate to your team. and to others. You may need to go hire some people or hire agencies to do things for you that you're not a specialist at. That's fine. Go hire people to do your copywriting for your marketing. You're there to guide them as a CEO. So make sure that you're doing those types of things. And I'm starting to see questions come in, so that's great. So please type them into the chat and we'll get to them here in a minute. So learn to properly delegate, and again, we can coach you through that. And finally, hire a coach to do it. We're here to keep you on track. If you don't have a coach, chances are your self-discipline, you're gonna do something for the next couple of days and then you're gonna stop. You must have someone holding you accountable to doing these things on a consistent basis. We have a client who has been in business for a little over a decade and has always wanted to achieve certain things. He even came to a couple of our workshops and started something and then stopped it. Multi-million-dollar type business. As soon as he started coaching, guess what started happening? He started actually taking things forward, because we were there saying, okay, well, how many more weeks until your business is going to be sold? Because every single one of you should have a date set to when your business runs without you and a date at which you sell it. And so we calculated out, and every week that he wasn't getting something done, it was another week in the past. Have a coach. It's that straightforward. It's the best investment your business can have other than yourself. And candidly, coaching is an investment into you and into the business. That's why we have a 17-week guarantee. If coaching is not paying for itself, we're going to coach you for free. And candidly, you follow our coaching, which is what it is hinged on, I guarantee you get the results. All you have to do is follow our coaching and we'll get you where you need to be. So you aren't too busy. You just haven't set your priorities correct yet. And then in there lies the opportunity. So right now, kind of the world hitting the reset button. Connect with us. We will help you set your priorities correctly. And then we're going to hold you accountable to doing them so your business grows the way you want it to go. And if you don't have a plan for the next 30 days in your business with everything that has already changed in the past 30 days, you have to join us on the 29th. Go to don'townajob.com. All of the information is right there. We're going to help you set the next plan for the next 30-day sprint for your business, knowing that everything's about to start opening back up. So get connected with us. There's a whole lot of stuff that can happen. The question just becomes, what do you need to have happen and in what order? And we're here to help you alongside of that. Get connected with me online. We put a bunch of free content out there. And for the free resource, all you have to do is type in your name and your email and your cell phone number, and we will get you the free resource from today. I'm gonna show it to you for a second as I get to some of the questions. So, and again, if you have questions, please type them in. Also, always curious what your top learnings are. Delegation versus abdication. So abdication is essentially the process of saying, hey, so-and-so, go do this, without actually giving them a step-by-step system on how to and teaching them the process. So even if you have a documented process, you can't just say, hey, go follow it. I'm going to model it for you. I'm going to showcase it to you. I'm going to have you repeat it back to me. So that way I know that you understand how to properly do it. So delegation is the process of actually making sure that people know the process, know how to do it, know how to implement it, and things like that. So too often we see abdication happens where it's like, oh, I just want you to go do this for me real quick. And then what happens is they come back and they haven't done it properly because you've simply just abdicated it instead of delegating it. The resource, another question real quick. Delegate before you have the funds or after you have the funds? When to hire? Great question. So when it comes to delegating, if you don't already have a team member in process to do something, let's start with this. If you don't have a team at all, then you may look at potentially getting an intern in or putting someone on a commission type basis where we can plan how to make them profitable in your business. If you go to hire somebody, they must be profitable within a certain amount of time. And so the plan must be put in place to make sure that they become profitable. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Sales and marketing is easier to understand that. In more of the qualitative type roles or operation type roles, it's a little bit harder to understand that. So we'll coach you through it. That's if you don't have a team. If you do have a team, then you may look at them and say, okay, with the priorities we have in our business right now, is this item that I'm looking to delegate at the top of the priority list, bottom of the priority list, middle of it, where is it at? Based off of that now, who has the right mindset, skill set, time in their day where we could delegate it to? And again, we're going to make sure that we're delegating, not abdicating it. So we're going to make sure that we have the right system in place, that we're teaching them the system, and then they're going to go do it. And this is why we put systems before teams, so that way we have the right systems, because I can teach skill set all day long. As long as we have the right mindset and attitude, I can teach skill set all day long. So then we get into the funds piece. So if you currently have a team, and let's say everyone's maxed out with all the top priorities of the business, then we have to say, okay, who would we hire for this? And how fast could they become profitable for the business? Because if they're not profitable, then your business is doing the paycheck to paycheck thing. That's not smart. So we put the right plan in place with the right KPIs to make sure that this person that you're going to hire to delegate something to is profitable for the business. And again, we can coach you through that. Great question. The resource we're going to be handing out. And again, if you want this, just type in your name, phone number, and email into the chat or into the comments, and we will get this to you. It outlines, and we have a print version and a digital version. Your day, 6 to 6, every single day. So you can look at, when we start talking about your default calendar, you'd have that online or on print, your choice. Digital tends to be best, right? Your Microsoft or Google or Apple Calendar, whatever you're using. Having those set times in place, those time blocks. So you would say, okay, Monday, my time block from 8 to 8:30 is blank, 8:30 to 9 is blank, and you have all those time blocks of what your day looks like. And then what you would do is, if it was Monday, at the end of day Friday, you're planning Monday. And so you would say, based off of my major goals, life and business, what I'm moving towards, the frog I have to eat, which if you haven't read that book, it's on procrastination, go read it. It's called Eat That Frog. It talks about, what's the one thing that I must do tomorrow that I might procrastinate on because I don't want to do it or don't like doing it, along with other major goals, tasks that you're going to do that are leading towards those major goals that we just talked about up here. You're going to take those things and then you're actually going to put them into your calendar based off of your default calendar and where you're investing time every single day. So if it's, marketing related, where do I have marketing on my default calendar for I do marketing every Monday from 11 to 1. Great. So 11 to 1, I'm going to take my top task. I'm going to go put them in here. And at the bottom, we have, follow-up phone calls and emails. On the right-hand side, other tasks and projects that I need to delegate, or if I can delegate. If not, they're just going to go there. So don't forget about them. I'm grateful for. And then kind of here on the left-hand side, we get to rate ourselves. My top focus on priorities. How was that? Was I working on the business? Scale of 1 to 10 type stuff. Again, self-accountability. Best part of my day, major win, top learning for the day. Make sure you're learning at least one thing every single day. Top focus for tomorrow, and top challenge from today. So again, we have this. This is a print version. We have this exact same thing where it has the fields where you can just type it in and you can create a new one every single day. So if you want this resource, we have it for you. All you gotta do is give us your information and we will email it to you directly. I am statements in the top, because again, we want to make sure your mindset is set. So what are your top I am statements for that day, wherever we may be. So this is the resource. We actually have one more for you, but I will share that with you on the next episode. So be militant with your attitude and with your focus. Be strong in your mindset. Set your routine the way it needs to be productive and effective. Remove the distractions. Stop giving yourself excuses. You're only a step away from the next level of progress. And every step is those 1% shifts. 1% shifts over and over and over again. That's all we need to get to. If you're not connected with us, get connected. You aren't too busy. You just haven't set your priorities correct yet. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business and enhance your lifestyle. And if you have additional questions, please reach out. We are here to help support. Bye for now.